Not a match. Not a trophy. Not even a ranking update. Just 4 words. And when those 4 words appeared online, phones started buzzing across the Philippines. Coaches began making calls. Tennis fans rushed to social media. And suddenly, one of the biggest stories of the grass court season had begun. Because just days ago, Alex Eala was expected to fight her way through qualifying rounds. Now, she's heading straight into the main draw of one of the most important tournaments before Wimbledon. The question is, how did that happen? And why are so many people suddenly paying attention? To understand the answer, we need to rewind. Just 12 days earlier, Alex Eala walked off the courts of Roland Garros after a disappointing defeat. For most players, that kind of loss signals a reset, a chance to step away, recharge, and mentally recover. That's the normal reaction. But Alex Eala didn't choose normal. Instead of taking time off, she boarded a flight to England almost immediately. Different country, different conditions, different surface, and a completely different challenge. Because grass court tennis isn't just another part of the season. It's a survival test. Everything changes on grass. The bounce is lower. The points are faster. Mistakes are punished instantly. Players spend months building their games for clay courts, only to have 3 short weeks to completely reinvent themselves for grass. 3 weeks. That's all. And for players outside the automatic entry list, the challenge is even harsher. Before they can even dream about winning a tournament, they have to survive qualifying rounds. Multiple high-pressure matches. No room for error. No easy opponents. Every point feels like a final. That was the path waiting for Alex Eala. At least, until everything changed. Because while most people were still processing her Roland Garros exit, Eala quietly arrived in Birmingham. And what happened next shocked everyone. Her first grass court match of the season looked less like an adjustment period and more like a statement. A massive statement. Against Priscilla Hun, Eala dominated from the opening point. The first set? 6-0. A bagel. On grass. In her first grass court match after weeks of competing on clay. That doesn't happen by accident. A scoreline like that tells you something important. It tells you the serve is working. It tells you the footwork has adapted. It tells you confidence is already there. Most players need time to figure out grass. Alex Eala looked like she'd never left it. And she wasn't finished. Match after match, she kept winning. The deeper she went into the tournament, the more people started paying attention. Then came the semi-final. And that's where things became truly impressive. Across the net stood Rebecca Masarova, a dangerous opponent with one of the most powerful serves in the draw. She fired 11 aces. 11. On grass, that's usually enough to control an entire match. Yet somehow Eala found a way. She absorbed the pressure, stayed calm, read the patterns, and broke Masarova's serve 4 separate times. Think about that for a second. 11 aces, 4 breaks. Those numbers shouldn't really exist together, but they did. Because Eala wasn't just playing well. She was competing with a level of belief that only appears when a player is entering a new phase of their career. Then came the final. The biggest test yet. The 5th seed. A championship on the line. And for a moment, it looked like the dream run might be over. Eala lost the opening set. The pressure increased. The momentum shifted. The crowd sensed the opportunity slipping away. But if you followed her journey, you know something about Alex Eala. She doesn't panic. She adjusts. And that's exactly what happened. She regrouped, raised her level, took the 2nd set, then entered a deciding 3rd set with the title hanging in the balance. Every point mattered. Every game felt enormous. And when the pressure reached its highest point, Eala delivered. She captured the Birmingham title, a grass court championship, only days after a Grand Slam defeat. The tennis world took notice. But what happened next may have been even more important. Because success creates expectations. And expectations create pressure. Arriving at Queen's Club, Eala carried momentum, confidence, and growing attention. At first, everything looked perfect. She cruised through her opening match. The Birmingham magic appeared alive and well. Then she saw the draw. And one name stood out. Iva Jovic. The same player who had defeated her at Roland Garros. A rematch. A chance for revenge. A chance to prove how much she'd improved. But tennis doesn't always follow the script. Jovic played fearless tennis. Winner after winner. Relentless pressure. And despite Eala's efforts, the result looked painfully familiar. Another loss. Another lesson. For some players, that defeat would have overshadowed everything achieved in Birmingham. But here's what most people missed. Between Birmingham and Queen's Club, Eala had played 7 matches in just 9 days. 7. In 9 days. Across multiple cities. On one of the most physically demanding surfaces in tennis. By that stage, fatigue wasn't a possibility. It was inevitable. Heavy legs lead to slower movement. Slower movement leads to rush decisions. Rush decisions become unforced errors. Suddenly, the statistics made perfect sense. The loss wasn't a warning sign. It was evidence of how much tennis she'd already played. Which brings us to the announcement that changed everything. Because yesterday, the Berlin Open revealed the news. Alex Eala had received a wildcard into the main draw.
No qualifying rounds.
No extra matches. No exhausting battle just to enter the tournament. Instead, she received something every player desperately wants during grass season. Time. Time to recover. Time to train. Time to prepare. Time to breathe. And those extra days may prove more valuable than any ranking points. Because Berlin isn't just another tournament. It's one of the final major stops before Wimbledon. The field is stacked.
Grand Slam champion.
Top 10 players. Elite grass court specialists. Every player arrives looking for momentum. Every player arrives believing they can win. Now Alex Eala will be standing among them. Not because someone felt sorry for her. Not because of marketing. Not because of luck. Because the tournament wanted her there. That's an important difference. Wildcards at this level are earned. Tournament directors don't hand them out randomly. They invest them. And when Berlin chose Eala, they sent a powerful message. They believe she belongs. The real question now is simple. What happens next? Because if the recovery is successful, if the serve returns to Birmingham levels, if the movement sharpens again, then Berlin could become something special. Very special. And maybe that's the biggest reason this story matters. This isn't just about one tournament. It's not even just about one player. It's about what Alex Eala represents. Every young tennis player in the Philippines is watching. Every dreamer wondering if they can compete on the world's biggest stages is watching. And with every victory, every title, every breakthrough, she's expanding what's possible. That's why 4 words created such a reaction. Not because they guaranteed success, but because they opened a door that didn't exist before. Alex Eala is heading to Berlin. And if the last few weeks have taught us anything, it's that counting her out is becoming a very dangerous mistake. #Alex Eala was supposed to play qualifiers. Then everything changed. 4 words. That's all it took. 4 simple words posted online. And suddenly the entire tennis world started paying attention. Phones lit up across the Philippines. Tennis fans flooded social media. Coaches began making calls. And tournament organizers everywhere took notice. Because just days earlier, Alex Eala was expected to fight her way through the qualifying rounds. That was where her ranking placed her. That was what the system said she deserved. But then something happened that nobody saw coming. The Berlin Open made an announcement. And in an instant, Alex Eala's entire grass court season changed. The question is, why? Why would one of the biggest tournaments before Wimbledon hand a coveted main draw wildcard to a 21-year-old player who had just suffered a disappointing loss? The answer begins 12 days earlier. A moment most people have already forgotten. A moment that may end up defining Alex Eala's entire season. Picture this.
Roland Garros.
The clay court Grand Slam. The match is over. Alex Eala walks off the court after a straight sets defeat. The crowd moves on. The headlines move on. The tournament moves on. And for most players, that's where the story would pause. A few days off. A chance to recover. Time with family. Time to mentally reset. That's the normal reaction. But Alex Eala didn't choose normal. Instead, she did something far more difficult. She got on a plane. Immediately. Destination: Birmingham, England. No break.
No vacation.
No time to feel sorry for herself. Just a rapid transition from clay to grass. And if you're not a tennis fan, that might not sound like a big deal. Trust me, it is. Because moving from clay courts to grass courts is one of the hardest adjustments in professional sports. On clay, players have time. The ball bounces higher. Points last longer. Movement is controlled. Grass is the complete opposite. The ball stays low. Everything happens faster. One small mistake can end a point instantly. There is no room for hesitation. And every year, players are given barely 3 weeks to figure it out. 3 weeks. That's it. The entire grass court season exists in a tiny window between Roland Garros and Wimbledon. Which means every match matters. Every ranking point matters. Every practice session matters. And for players outside the main draw, the pressure is even worse. Because before they can compete against the biggest names in tennis, they must survive qualifying rounds. A brutal battlefield filled with desperate veterans, rising stars, and dangerous grass court specialists. 2 matches. Sometimes 3. Before the real tournament even starts. That was the path waiting for Alex Eala. At least. Until she started winning. And not just winning. Dominating. Her first match in Birmingham sent a message. A loud one. She walked onto a grass court for the first time all season and immediately handed her opponent a 6-0 first set. A bagel. On grass. After spending weeks playing on clay. That scoreline tells a bigger story than most fans realize. It means her serve was firing. Her movement had adjusted. Her timing was already there. Most players need days to find their rhythm on grass. Alex Eala found hers almost instantly. And that was only the beginning. Match after match, she kept advancing. The deeper she went into the tournament, the the more attention she attracted. Then came the semi-final, and suddenly the challenge became much tougher. Across the net stood Rebecca Masarova, a player launching serves like missiles. 11 aces. 11. On grass courts, that kind of serving performance usually wins matches. But Eala refused to panic. Every time Masarova gained momentum, Eala found an answer. Every time pressure increased, she stayed calm. And somehow, against a player serving bombs all afternoon, she broke serve 4 times. 4. That isn't luck. That's belief. That's resilience. That's the kind of mental toughness coaches spend years trying to develop. Then came the final. The biggest stage of the week. The biggest opportunity. And for a moment, it looked like the dream run might end. Eala lost the opening set. The pressure intensified. The title seemed to be slipping away. But something about this version of Alex Eala felt different. Older. Calmer. More dangerous. There was no frustration.
No panique.
No negative body language. Just adjustments. Quiet adjustments. The kind elite athletes make when everything is on the line. She took the second set. Forced a decider. And when the pressure reached its highest point, she delivered. Alex Eala won the Birmingham title. A grass court champion. Only days after her Roland Garros disappointment. The tennis world noticed. But the next chapter would reveal even more